Hello, this is Jane Adshead-Grant. I'm delighted to continue our confidence talks with Ailey Milnes. And this afternoon, Ailey, the speaker for confidence, is going to be interviewing me about the art of listening.
So, Jane, why is listening so important?
Well, for me, Ailey, I believe that listening is a critical skill both in our daily lives, personal life, and in business. And it's important because when we listen, and I mean really listen to another person, it demonstrates our respect and how we value them. I also think listening is important because it's a way to engage and motivate others to perform better. And finally, for me, listening is really important because it enables us to experience and create both deeper and more meaningful relationships with our friends, our family, colleagues, and even clients.
I agree. You want to honour the other person, so you honour them by listening. What are some of the challenges people find to listening well?
Well, I think the first thing in my experience is the desire to interrupt. You know, most of us, we listen just long enough to get the gist of what someone else is saying before we want to respond. Another challenge that I experience is this increasingly noisy world that we're in. So it's the distraction, and that's whether it's an email popping in or our mobile phone. Even if it's on silent, we hear the buzz. Sometimes people have the television on in the backgrounds. And another distraction is our own internal chatter. And these, for me, are challenges to our ability to listen well. And finally, I would say another challenge to listening well is our own prejudices and our own view of the world, where we sometimes perhaps jump to conclusions about what someone's saying or about to say. So that can get in the way of us listening really well.
So I agree with you there. Sometimes we actually have to stop listening to all the distractions, that phone, the telephone, or the chitter-chatter in your head. So sometimes it's having a stop sign up, isn't it? Stop listening.
Absolutely. Well, it's the mitigating circumstances. So I encourage people to reduce those distractions. You're absolutely right. They're going to be present, but it's tuning out those sounds. It's more the passive hearing that go on in the background, and then fully pay attention to another so that we are really listening to them.
Okay, our third question out of 5 is, what 3 tips would you offer to help someone develop their listening skills?
Well, there are many, but given you've asked me for 3, I guess the first one is, I've alluded to it already, but the first top tip is just don't interrupt. Allow the person to finish speaking, and make time for them. Make time so that you can listen, because, you know, in my experience, by listening to another person, you can add real value to their day and even their world when you stop and listen. Another tip I would offer is to listen to the non-verbal messages. People communicate an awful lot by their body language, and sometimes people are reluctant to share their disappointment or opposition to what perhaps you're saying verbally. However, their body language will be very clear, and you will know exactly what they're saying through the message that they're giving with their body language. So pay attention to the non-verbal messages. And finally, I would say, as another top tip, is to acknowledge the contribution of others. People often overlook the aspect of thanking people for their contribution. And it may be that you don't perceive any great value from what you've just listened to in that moment. However, I still encourage you to thank them for their time and effort. And always acknowledge people who contribute their energy, their ideas and results. Because for me, it's about building goodwill. And that is a great part of listening, and it's an essential aspect for us both in life and in business.
And I think it's so important that you make it easy for the person. You know, the listeners may not realize that you and I are hundreds of miles apart, and we're recording this. And so I can't pick up on the nonverbals. However, you're making it easy for me because I'm asking for 3, and then you say, and finally. So I know that I have to listen in for the end of what you're going to say and then be ready to respond. So when you are speaking to people, give them clues to make it easy for them to know when it's their time to contribute.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the myths about listening? There have to be some of those.
Indeed. Well, the first one I think is that there's a myth that listening is difficult. Yes, it is a conscious decision, and listening well requires effort, unlike hearing, which is a more passive activity. But the good thing about listening and developing your listening skills is that you can learn them and you can become very good at them. And just like anything, it requires practice. Another myth is that women are better listeners than men. And it's true that women naturally place a higher value on some aspects such as connection and cooperation, and particularly the emotional messages, whereas men perhaps pay more attention to actions, results, facts, and tend to dislike the emotional talk. But it's not true that women are any better. It's just that they are perhaps likely to ask different questions, and therefore the interpretation of the message may be different. And lastly, another myth I would share is that listening improves with age. It's a maturity thing. Well, we may become wiser as we get older through our life experiences. However, without the practice and conscious effort, there's no guarantee that our listening will get any better. In fact, sometimes people say it gets worse as we get older because we pick up bad habits, such as interrupting, as I've mentioned before, or making assumptions based on our own view of the world. And we're not listening, instead we're just waiting to speak. Those, I would say, are 3 myths about listening.
My speaking buddy, my professional speaking buddy, Alan Pease, is the author of the book Why Men Don't Listen and Women Can't Read Maps. So there you have, the 2 stereotypes of men don't listen and women aren't good at navigating. And of course, as soon as you put up a stereotype, there's someone who's going to break that. And I have to say that my husband is a fabulous listener. He has to be. I talk all the time. So, don't think that because they are of a specific gender that you're going to be good. And you're absolutely right. We can all improve at listening. I think I'm becoming a better listener by my association with you, and I thank you for that. So people's qualities do rub off on you.
Thank you.
And so my final question is: what is the number 1 secret of being a great listener?
Well, I'm going to struggle to say one. For me, it's about being curious and interested in the other person. And so I'm going to cheat and offer one more. I think another secret about being a great listener is to be open-minded in our listening and also in our body language that says, I'm listening.
Very good. So it's been great interviewing with you, Jane. I'm very conscious that when you are interviewing people that you don't overrun, and we endeavour to make sure that our interviews run somewhere between 7 and 8 minutes, which is bang on the button. So thank you for your time today. I'm Ailey Milnes, the speaker and coach for confidence, and I've been interviewing my colleague that I'm really loving getting to know at a distance. You're my distance friend, Jane. And how would you describe yourself, Jane?
Well, thank you, Ailey. It's been a delight to connect with you once more. And for me, I'm an executive coach working with leaders in business who want to gain more for themselves. And I coach people to feel confident, gain clarity, and be creative to achieve what they want.
Super. And we can entice the people to listen again because you're going to interview me when I'm in Australia.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it.
But first of all, I have to go to Rotterdam today. So don't we have exciting lives? Thank you very much for listening, everyone. This is Ailey Milnes signing out for now.
Bye-bye.